Well, Mohamed Kudus has shown us that he wants either Arsenal or Chelsea transfer. And guess what? I brought you a story like 7 days back that Brighton have reached an agreement with Ajax over the selling of the player, that is Mohamed Kudus. And Mohamed Kudus was hesitant, and Ajax gave him a deadline 2 days back. And guess what? Mohamed Kudus is instead pushing to come in and join Arsenal. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And continue to subscribe so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here. And guys, we are talking about the goalkeeping situation at Real Madrid after Thibaut Courtois got an injury, ankle injury that could keep him out for 4 or 5 months this season. Looks like options are really knocking in, and guess what? The replacement that has been lined up is really very shocking, and most of you are really going to get to know that people are really lucky. And lastly, we are going to really have a chat about a player known as Victor Osimhen. His contract is being looked through by Napoli, and Napoli are really hesitant that they are not selling their number 9, who really bagged in lots of goals last season in the Serie A. That is it, coming in from the credible sources of Italy, and that is Di Marzio bringing us this story. Now, there is a very huge media outlet coming in from Netherlands known as Voetbal International. They've told us that the 48-hour deadline that Kudus had to make a decision regarding a personal agreement with Brighton has now expired. This doesn't mean he'll stay at Ajax, but it hands control back to the Dutch club and allows them to negotiate a higher fee with each passing day. That is it. Now, Kudus is a very good player, and looks like Ajax want to do an Anthony once again. Remember, Anthony was one of the players that really played at Ajax, and he signed for Manchester United in the last week of the transfer window, and he found himself at United around Wednesday, and the transfer window was ending. I think he found himself on Tuesday, and the transfer window was ending on a Wednesday. That is the 31st, because it ended on a Wednesday. So, to me, I really look at this snub of Brighton by Kudus as a signal that he's having other teams that really want to sign him, especially Arsenal and Chelsea. At this juncture, I would like to really throw a little bit of spotlight or torch in the transfer of Arsenal, leaning towards the reasons as to why Mohamed Kudus is really pushing out of the deal to Brighton, meaning that there is a team that's going to have to promise him that they're going to sign him. Not so? One, at the beginning of the deal, all discussions and negotiations of the deal of David Raya was going to head to obviously undergo his medical today at London Colney, and if I was going to head to pass it, I'm going to come out and reveal to you whether he has passed it or not. Arsenal were willing to pay £23 million. No loan was being discussed by Arsenal. That is it. But we are shocked yesterday when the story really leaked out that the deal is all about a loan with an option to buy that's not mandatory of £27 million. So why did Arsenal really change their mind, the negotiations of David Raya, yet they would have gone ahead to sign him on a cheap and pay that £27 million, meaning that Arsenal are looking at making another signing. And who could that signing be? That is Mohamed Kudus. That is it. That signing is expected to be Mohamed Kudus. Now, the other scenario that really shows you that Mohamed Kudus pulled out of a deal or a negotiation to Brighton is the stories of Balogun going around. Do you know that Arsenal rejected £40 million from Monaco, £35 million from Inter Milan? Why do they want £50 million? Obviously, they want to get in more money to sign more players, and that's why Mohamed Kudus is really so much hopeful that this is really going to happen. You know, rejecting a deal of Brighton, if you're Mohamed Kudus, That means your agent has gotten information coming in from either Arsenal or Chelsea that they are willing to give you the best of a deal that really deserves. Some are really insinuating that maybe this plays in the favor of Brighton, but I believe Brighton are ready to cap or to really take in £40 million. If Brighton has been paying 40 million euros, I know they would have had what we call a resale clause into that deal. And when we look at teams like Chelsea and Arsenal, they don't do such deals of resale clauses. So what they are going to do, he might go for like £45 million or £50 million, according to me, because 40 million euros that they had agreed with Brighton is like 35 million pounds, meaning that they might call in for 45 million pounds. That is like 50 million euros might be requested from Arsenal or Chelsea, 10 more, and we anticipate that maybe that is going to happen. That's why I was going to hate to obviously snub Brighton, and he said, I want to go to Chelsea or Arsenal. And I've already told you that Arsenal and Chelsea are really huge teams when it comes to these African players, because they've seen other African players thrive that side. Now, the Ajax sporting director, Steven Millicent on Kudus, and he was at Arsenal, and that's why very many people believe that Arsenal might find it easy to sign another player from Ajax after signing Julian Timber, says there is no fixed deadline on Mohamed Kudus, but there are agreements. We must have to get replacements if we haven't already done so proactively. As we get closer to the deadline, the transfer fee, for example, goes up. Now, if you're Ajax, you'll be so much intrigued with what Mohamed Kudus is going to hate to do to stand up Brighton, because that calls other teams into play. And every time you near the deadline, the prices of these teams really have to the prices for these players have to increase. Reason, because they have to get in a replacement. But for Ajax, they've already gotten in players at their club, and they don't want to lie to you that it's all about replacement. It's all about them making money and obviously building a new project. And Mohamed Kudus has been one of those few players that Erik ten Hag had left at Ajax and groomed very well. But it looks like all the Erik ten Hag era is becoming extinct. And the only player left there, I think, is going to be Clarkson, because Edson Alvarez has also signed for West Ham. If Kudus leaves, that means the entire starting 11 is really out, and it's only one player left. That is Clarkson. Remember, the starting 11 had Onana as the goalkeeper. He's at Manchester United. Mazurui, he's playing for Bayern Munich, right back. Left back was Tagliafico and Darry Blind, all those left. Central defense, Lisandro Martinez is at Manchester United. Julian Timber is at Arsenal. Then we are having Gravenberch, he's playing for Bayern Munich. Edson Alaves is playing for West Ham. Dusan Tadic is now in Turkey. Anton is playing for Manchester United. You understand? So Sebastian Haller is at which team? He's at Borussia Dortmund. And there comes another player, Mohamed Kudus, who used to play as a left attack midfielder for Ajax, and he's really having a very short time there, and maybe he might be going to Arsenal. So let's wait and see how that pans out. But Mohamed Kudus is pushing for the Arsenal move, and we anticipate that move is really going to happen if at all Arsenal seriously looking in for a player to come in through and obviously play for them. Let's go to Victor Osimhen, one of the high scoring forwards in Europe last season of 2022-2023. And his contract was really shaky, and they are now coming close to sign a new contract with Napoli. This is Di Marzio. You know, he's a football transfer expert, and he's an international reporter for Sky Sports. He has confirmed to us that Napoli and Victor Osimhen are closing in on an agreement over a contract extension. And what convinced Victor Osimhen to obviously sign this contract extension is that he told Napoli that if at all I'm obviously extending 2 or 3 years on my contract, we have to put in a buyback clause. A buyout clause. And that buyout clause is between 100 million euros to 120 million euros. Because this time around, this guy would have been one of the hottest assets to be really bought by teams like Manchester United, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, PSG, name it. But Napoli wanted to really sell him expensively, and that was 150 million euros. That's the amount of money that we are calling in for. But as it stands right now, it's one of those deals that it's going to happen very soon, especially next summer, because the buyout clause is going to be put outside there and it's going to be triggered. I think they're going to put out like 2 buyout clauses that if at all a team wants to sign him like the sum of 2024, they should pay 120 million euros. If they want to buy him in the sum of 2025, like 100 million euros. But I think PSG is one of those teams that really try to sign the player. They put in a bid of 100 million euros. It was rejected. And guess what? The team wanted 150 million euros for the player. So he might be on a high demand by Manchester United because Ten Hag is going in for a classic centre forward, proven at the European continent next summer. And Victor Osimhen is one of those that Erik Ten Hag has been admiring for a very long time. But the budget couldn't allow him to sign Victor Osimhen this summer. Now, let's close it up with the story coming in from Real Madrid. Obviously, it's all about Kudus, and this is Thibaut Courtois, the goalkeeper of Real Madrid. Today in training, lots of things really went bad. Courtois is undergoing medical tests. His ACL could be affected after an injury. He left training in tears. Now, a man who is 30 years, the moment he leaves the training session crying, just know he's in a lot of pain and they're trying hard to either really get him back to where he's supposed to be. Being the first choice goalkeeper of Real Madrid and Real Madrid not having a second notable choice goalkeeper onto their bench, then they need to go all out and obviously looking for possible replacements that can get this job done and dusted. And guess what? This man is a free agent, and TalkSport has gone ahead to break a story that David De Gea is set to join Real Madrid following his Manchester United departure. And guess what? It's like this. He's a free agent, and Real Madrid are not really having a perfect player to come in through and obviously bring him in. The reason as to why I'm so much hesitant that maybe David De Gea might be going to Real Madrid is Real Madrid are trying to add up dots to really sign Kylian Mbappe. They want money. They have not yet found the replacement of Karim Benzema, and however much money Jude Bellingham, it looks like it's not all over for this club. And the moment they try to bring in another signing from another club, that might cost them close to 20 or 30 million euros. A goalkeeper that can suit their levels. But look at David De Gea, world-class goalkeeper, proven, and there is no difference between David De Gea and Thibaut Courtois because all of them are not good at playing the ball with their feet. We all know that. So I see David De Gea as one of those that is really ready to go obviously and really play for Real Madrid. And remember, in 2014, he almost signed for Real Madrid, but United delayed to really submitting the papers that would have obviously granted him permission to obviously sign for Real Madrid. And then the deal collapsed on the deadline day. That is David De Gea for you. But they're not only looking at David De Gea, they're also having other goalkeepers, and the ex-Tottenham Hotspur captain, Hugo Lloris, who is a free agent also, has been offered. And we've been told by Jose Felix Diaz, who works for Marca in Spain, and you know when it comes to Marca, it's all about Real Madrid because this is a close source for Real Madrid. They've confirmed to us that Tottenham Hotspur captain and goalkeeper Hugo Lloris was offered Real Madrid in the last hours. Hugo Lloris conceded 39 goals in 25 games for Spurs last year, keeping just 7 clean sheets. That is Hugo Lloris for you. And let's wait and see how that pans out. But Hugo Lloris, I think, cannot be in the same levels with David De Gea. I think David De Gea should be a class apart. I've also seen the Moroccan goalkeeper, one of those being talked or discussed to obviously come in through and obviously do the job when it comes to signing for Real Madrid. So let's wait and see how that pans out. But what I can let you know is that it's a very hot topic in Spain, and David De Gea is one of those goalkeepers that might sign for Real Madrid. So your thoughts on Mohamed Kudus pushing for Arsenal move are welcome in the comment section below after snapping Brighton. Do you think that's the cause? He's snapping Brighton because he wants to go to Arsenal or Chelsea? All that into the comment section below. Victor Osimhen new contract offered to him. What do you make about it? And lastly, who do you think is going to come in through as a replacement for Thibaut Courtois? Is it David De Gea? Is it the Moroccan goalkeeper or Hugo Lloris? All that and more into the comment section below. Aside that for now, see you later. I'll cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. May the living true God bless you abundantly. My Muslim viewers and subscribers, Barak Lau Fikum. I'm out.